sound.
LA Bleakers. LA Bleakers.
So, when you first, because he said your name in Control, how did you take that originally when you first heard it?
Oh man, that's what's so dope. Like, I was the first one to respond. I was like, immediately, I was like,
On
yo,
Twitter.
I was like, yeah, bro, I hear you. I was like, yeah, I hear you loud and clear. I do.
Hear you loud
Like,
and clear.
all good. And you know, I didn't take it as a diss. I looked at what he said and I was like, okay, well, you know, Kendrick is basically saying this is his peer group. This is who he hears. You know, when people talk about, you know, rapping, they mention me. When people talk about different genres of rap, everybody who he mentioned, they're speaking about.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, you know, that's no big deal to me. Like, I didn't take it bad. I look at it like, man, you know, we his peers, and he's trying to murder us. And at the end of the day, like, since when hasn't that been the criteria?
It just isn't in your face as much, right? Like,
Right,
it hasn't been said, but
right.
it's always.
But trust me, man, that is the criteria for every rapper when you ever being on a track with somebody. Like, man, I did So Appalled on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. It was me, Jay-Z, Sci-Hi, and Kanye West. Dog, trust me, my intention, I couldn't have the worst verse. There's no way. There's no way. Like, I'm like, man, I'm digging deep. Like, yo, this you better mention my verse. And I think people do. Like, I feel like I got the best verse on that. I feel like that.
Yeah.
And that's just it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's my motive. And I'm sitting back like, man, God, you know, man, he about to say the 30 million. I can't talk 30 million talk. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you gotta find your angle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta find your angle, man. Like, yeah, and
Hot, man.
you know, it's, you know, that's the goal. You know, people was like, yo, you know, what you think about, he said your name? Like, rap is so, like, you know, so silly.
I was gonna say,
like,
high school.
Yeah, like, oh, he said your name. Like, okay, like, so what? You know what I'm saying? But, like, you know, I don't. It doesn't bother me. It never bothered me at all, because you got to remember, I'm the same guy who made Exodus. You know what I'm saying? I made the hardest hip hop records of probably the past 2 years.
When that was
Like,
really like,
yeah, like
cool to do.
Exodus, New God Flow.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you
like,
did. You
like,
did.
like, and talking and shooting.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no games, like 100%.
Right.
And it's like, you know, it takes for Kendrick to do it, and, you know, for people to recognize it or whatever, when I feel like I've been playing that game. But, you know, unfortunately, mine was sort of marred by, like, the notion of beef. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that sort of ruined.
Yeah.
That probably ruined mine, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, you know, being that Kendrick can do it from such a neutral standpoint and still get the point across and still get the bar raised and still get people on that, you know, on that wave.
Yeah.
Like, I accept that. Like, I take that.
LA Bleakers. LA Bleakers.